Now, in this pane here in a worksheet, you will see the variables that are available to us to work with. Okay? And the variables are divided into two groups, dimensions and measures. Okay? Dimensions are like categorical variables, like gender or major, okay? Things like that, product category, that would be a dimension. Okay? Measures will be numerical continuous variables like sales, okay? Or temperature or profit or price, things like that, where that variables with which we can make numerical computations. Okay? We will have more to say about those later on. Right now, just it's sufficient to understand that we have dimensions in one area and then we have measures in another area. Okay? Now we're going to create a very small, very simple but yet powerful visualization. So let's move the dimensions and measures to these shelves, as they call it, column shelf, row shelf, and color shelf marks and so on. Okay. So I have a tutorial file, Word file, that you probably have with you. So that tells you what to move where. So we move shipping cost, and where is shipping cost? Well, you should be in Superstore here. Superstore shipping cost. Okay, move that to columns. Okay. Now, Tableau, and you will see this is true even in business, Power BI. The default aggregation is sum for numerical variables. So if you move shipping cost to the column shelf, you'll just simply add up all the shipping costs in your database. So if you have 36,000 rows, you'll simply add all the shipping costs and put it there. So right now, it is not differentiated in any way at all. So you have just one single bar, and again, that is you can change the kind of visualization if you like, but Tableau will assume that this is what you want and present you with what it thinks is the most appropriate visualization. So right now, there's only one category, which is all, okay, and we have sum. You can change that. We'll talk about that later on. Okay. Now take profit and put that into rows. Now profit is in the row, in the row shelf. Now what happened now? What happened was, of course, again, the default summarization is sum, so it sums all the profit. So now Tableau looks at, okay, in the row I have a numerical variable, and in the column I have another numerical variable. So the most logical visualization when you have numerical variable on the row, numerical variable in the column is a scatter plot. Okay. Not a bar chart, not a histogram, not a pie chart, but a scatter graph. So it assumes the scatter plot, that's why it changes to a scatter plot. And once again, it is not, the summarization is all. We are not grouping this in any way. So it takes the sum of all the profit, sum of all the sales. So profit on the x-axis, right? And I'm sorry, profit on the y-axis. Okay, shipping cost on the x-axis. There is only one point. The sum of shipping cost on the x, sum of the profit. So you have only one point right there. So if you hover over that point, it tells you what is the total profit and what is the total shipping cost. Okay. Now, let's take department and move that to color. Okay. What's happening now? So now we have color in department in color. So that means we want each department to be colored differently. And in the data set, there are 3 departments. Okay, so we have furniture, office supplies, and technology. So now what's going to happen is, instead of simply summing the entire column of shipping cost and entire column of profit, it's going to sum within each department. So sum of shipping cost and sum of profit for furniture, sum of shipping cost and profit for the next one, and the next. So now you get 3 points. Okay, instead of 1 point, now we have 3 points, 1 for each department. Now we can add order priority to shape. So move order priority to shape. So now you see that we are further dissecting the data into different groups within each department. Within each department, we have several levels of order priority, and the order priorities are listed here. So a circle represents critical, square represents high, and so on. Okay. Now once again, the 3 points that we had, well, we started out with just 1 point. We disaggregated into 3, 1 for each department. And now we're going even further down. For each department, we are further breaking them down into these 5 categories of order priority. Okay. Now move customer name into detail. So now what's happening is that we are now dissecting it at the customer level. Okay, within each of those 3 things that we've already done, department, well, 2 things that we have already done, department and order priority, and then we are going down to customer level. And since there are lots of customers, you have lots of points. Okay, a given customer may be repeated, because this is a sales transaction data. So what this will do is, it will sum for each department and each priority. The same customers will be summed and it will be plotted. Okay. So now you examine what's going on here. So sum is the default. So now as you move dimensions to different marks, and those are listed here, and the legend is automatically created, and then you have the plot. And if you hover over each plot, you will see a summary of what that particular point refers to. So like this one, the customer name is Andrea Shaw, order priority is high, the department office supplies, and profit and shipping costs and so on. So it gives you details. Suppose if you want more details, you can drop in additional dimensions into detail, and it will show up there.